What up? What up, players? I am in the garage. And I'm back. I'm back home. Normal life commences. Work starts tomorrow. Wah, wah, wah. Got a new sweater. Boom. Pretty dope. Uh, well, the trip was amazing. If any of you have ever been out that way, then you can pretty much you understand how amazing that place can be. That place is like northwest Montana, the Kootenai area. Oh, I have a seat. Is like that whole area is like the Upper Peninsula on steroids. And weed is completely legal in Montana. How did I not know this? I'm like, is that a weed shop? What the fuck? That's a weed shop too. I look it up. It's rec. I'm like, oh, didn't have to cross all these state lines with all this, after all. But that place is so amazing. I was in Mike Decker's part of the country. I was probably right in his backyard and didn't even know it because I was all over the place, like everywhere. We were on so many back roads and just like switchback mountain 2 tracks and shit. We loved it so much. We didn't spend a whole lot of time on the interstate. We didn't get to do a lot of things. So we didn't get to go to the Boundary Waters. We planned on spending a day or 2 days in the Boundary Waters. Um, if you're unfamiliar with what the Boundary Waters are, it's the Boundary Waters canoe area. It's in the borders of Minnesota and Canada. It's extremely a lot of portaging going on over there. A lot of streams, lakes, rivers, they're all connected. So a lot of people just disappear into the wilderness. We're going to do that for a couple days. And we're going to go to Grand Portage State Park, the tip of Minnesota. And we never got to do that either because we just spent so much time um, in Wyoming and Montana. South Dakota surprised me. I loved South Dakota, but we didn't spend a whole lot of time there. But we did spend some time there, like the first half of a day, and then we crossed into Wyoming, and it was like game over. I got a hat. Jordan, Montana, Ranchers Bar, and a lot of Packers fans out in like the prairie lands, mid central and eastern Montana. Wasn't expecting that, um, which is weird, but whatever. But we didn't spend. We were going to go to Devil's Lake. We went to Devil's Lake, so we were going to stay a couple nights at Devil's Lake Campground in North Dakota, and which the size of that lake impressed me. Wasn't expecting that because we just drove for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours in farmland, nothing changing, which is beautiful in its own way, but there's no scenery change, so it makes it seem like a lot longer. Um, Nothing to help break up the drive. Uh, so all of a sudden you get to Devil's Lake and it's just like this massive, massive body of water in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of strange. But we went there. We weren't impressed with the campsites. We weren't impressed with the campground. So we ended up just leaving and driving to Minnesota and getting a hotel room instead. After we already paid $50 for 2 nights at the Grams Island State Park campground because it's on an island, but there's nothing to do, like nothing to do, and you have to reserve the sites. You can't like we didn't know anything about the campground, and we just heard it was a cool place, so we went there and We weren't impressed. It wasn't our thing. There was nothing to fucking do there. We would have been walking in circles around the fucking campground for fun, doing a little bit of fishing off the shore because we had no boat. I didn't expect it to be such a big ass lake. So we just said fuck it. Took the loss and left. Watched the sunset over the lake and left. Anyway, um, that place is so special that we are seriously contemplating moving out there. Selling everything we got. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to sell almost anything. But we're going to liquidate a lot of things. We're going to sell a lot of things, but not like our house and then none of our real assets. We would keep all that. But, you know, what's the best move? What's the best play? Do I go out there and start my own business? Do I go there and buy a business? Do I go there and just start working and start at the bottom again? You know, I've made my way into a pretty comfortable spot right now. You know, I have no licensed skills. I have no certifiable skills or trades. I have no degrees. I have nothing. I have like who I am and the ability to get shit done, you know? So I would be starting from the bottom again unless we bought an income property or a business or something because it's expensive to live out there. It's not so expensive once you're there, but property is fucking expensive. Okay. I can buy a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath on 40 acres right up the road for 80 grand. Okay. 100 grand. Well, with the inflation of everything, you know, maybe 120 by now. Because that's his land's cheap up here. Nobody wants to live up here. There. So literally, I looked this up last night. It was a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath on 20 acres. And they wanted 80 grand for it. Okay. $79,000 for 20 acres. And land around here usually it goes anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 per acre, depending on what kind of acreage it is. If it's swamp, it's going to go on the lower end of that, about $1,000 an acre. If it's good mature hardwoods, good ground, good soil, then you're looking at $3,000 an acre. It's usually, I think it probably averages out around here about $1,500 to $2,000 an acre. Okay, so I'll say it once again, just so you can understand the chasm of cost. 20 acres with a house. 20 acres with a 2-bedroom house already built on it. 1.5 bath, 80 grand. Out there, 80 grand for half an acre. For half an acre. 0.6 acres undeveloped property, $80,000. Half of an acre. That's like the size of the lot my house sits on right now. You know, you're looking at 20-acre parcels. Somebody broke down about 500 acres and they were selling like 300 together and they broke the rest of it down into smaller acreage lots and they were selling 20 and 25 acre plots. The 20-acre plots are for 280 and the 25-acre plots are for 350. A 20-acre plot for $280,000. I'm not sure if I have $280,000 in assets. My house isn't worth that much. My vehicles, that's a lot of money. Maybe I'm just lucky and live in a cheaper part of the country still, where shit hasn't caught up, you know? But God willing, the time, we'll see what happens. Or just I've always just kind of went with the flow, and it's been serving me well so far. And I keep trying to recognize and go through the doors that God opens, and We'll see how it happens. This is a beautiful trip, though. I would highly recommend anybody just going out there and doing it, just seeing it. It's just phenomenal. And on that note, I have my brother inside, and we just got her wedding pictures. Just got our wedding pictures back. So she wants to go through those with me. And I gotta finish this doobie, and I gotta pee. So I love you guys. Um, Not sure why I'm telling you all this, but just felt like I should touch base with you, and just let you know that, you know, boom. Just let you know that I guess really just never, don't be, it is kind of frightening. It is kind of scary. There's a lot involved. The kids are involved. Their parents, their other parents are involved. There's gonna be a lot of moving parts here. But um, if you see an opportunity, recognize it. If something pops up, recognize opportunities for what they are. And life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Okay, remember that. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. All right, that's when true growth begins. And although it's frightening, I mean, if worst thing that can happen for me in this situation is we come back uh, here where we have a home and established, things already. But man, it's getting a little chilly out too. So don't be scared. You're the only person that can better your life. You are the only person that can change your life, dude. No one can do it for you. Period. My mom told me once. My mom's just been in like shit relationship after shit relationship after shit relationship, and it's because she has no confidence in herself. And we were having this conversation fairly recently, within the last couple months, and she said, "Well, Eric, I've never." Maybe I made a comment like, you need to take care of yourself a little better or something when it comes to these guys." And she said, "Well, I've never known. I was never taught how to take care of myself or something like that." She made some kind of comment like that. And I said, "Well, that's bullshit, because I'm telling you right now, you don't know how to take care of yourself. Okay, well, this is the first step. So now you know how to take care of yourself. It's still up to you to do it." Love you guys. Love, peace, chicken grease.